Tell us why you decided to write the book, The 8 Competencies of Relationship Selling.
Well, the reason was because I had had some really unpleasant sales experiences early on. I started in selling, professional selling. I mean, as a kid, I sold everything from old comic books to newspapers to you name it. But I started in professional selling with a life insurance and mutual fund company, Investor Diversified Services, in my original hometown of Little Rock, Arkansas. And I was trained to memorize the sales pitch and go give it as often as I could all day long. And I hated it. I felt guilty and slimy, and I'd go barge into people's offices and use whatever tactics they had taught me to memorize and say to get past the receptionist and get in front of somebody that didn't want to see me. And then I'd make a sales pitch, and I can still deliver that sales pitch today. But I wasn't taught how to understand people's needs, how to show them the way that I could help solve their problems or improve their situation. I was taught to sell, and selling in the old sense of selling. And it just felt awful. So I left that job after about a year and a half of struggle. I was doing okay, but just surviving. And so I went to work selling cars because I could get rid of my car and have a loaner, a demo. So I did that for about 2 months. Well, that didn't, clearly I was out of the frying pan into the fire. And so I went to work in a friend's grocery store, and I was just earning a minimum wage and trying to figure out what to do with my life. And by the way, I was newly married with a baby at home. No college degree, no money in the bank, no connections in the community, no big achievements in my past to refer to. And I'll save the long story, but I ended up discovering that if you approach selling as helping, and if you don't focus on your sales pitch, but you focus on understanding and filling the needs of your clients, the whole energy around it is completely different. And so I ended up very successful in sales, ended up thriving as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur, and decided, I should write a book for other people. I co-authored a book called Be Your Own Sales Manager. Now think about that. Be your own sales manager. Why? Because my sales managers at IDS back then had been, let's say, ineffective. Okay? I co-authored the book with Dr. Tony Alessandra, my best friend and a former college professor that became my business partner for a long time. And ironically, IDS bought 2,000 copies of that book to distribute to their sales force.
Wow.
And it was the first book in which I expressed the concept of what I call relationship selling. Now, relationship selling has been revised and republished since the 8 Competencies version. And now then it's just called Relationship Selling, the 8 Competencies of Top Sales Producers. But the point of relationship selling is a relationship is an asset or a liability, depending on how you approach it. And if you put the focus on building business friendships where you're of value to people, then selling's a whole lot more organic, a whole lot more honest and open, and the tension goes away.